are you doing today? I go by Fiadh. I'm an energy and spirit worker, Reiki master, and healing arts practitioner. And today what I wanted to offer was a distant spirit medicine session, channeling the healing energy of the spirit world and any spiritual allies, with special attention to balancing, opening, or soothing whatever you need in this current moment for your greatest and highest good, for your third eye, this place right in the forehead, this energy center of intuition, of clear seeing, of discernment. Helping support your dreaming, your ability to visit other worlds if that's what you're into. Being able to support the blending of logic and intuition. So with that being said, please get yourself cozy, get yourself relaxed, maybe grab a drink of water, and I'll channel the rest. Just using this Tibetan bell to clear the energy using sound, as well as to help attune your focus into this space of healing, of energy. If you want to invite in or call in any spiritual allies, any guides, angels, whatever you personally believe in, please do so. Just calling in and focusing my intention to help connect to your energy, to your field, to your spirit. Still respecting boundaries, of course. And I'm setting a personal intention for this energy to be a bit more subtle, especially in this area in the third eye. Energy tends to be very sensitive here. It tends to ebb and flow, be a bit more prone to being hyperactive, to getting headaches, to maybe a bit of escapism. As well as self-doubt. I find it works better to be a bit more gentle, to be a bit more accepting of the energy coming in smaller ways, in ways we're not expecting, rather than trying to strive for intensity. Soothing any tension that you might be holding on to in your head, the neck, your crown. Just bringing it downwards. Slowly into your body. Anywhere where there's a bit of anxiety, especially if we're feeling that fear or that anxiety that we're calling intuition, or there's just a lot of noise. Intuition tends to be quiet. Sometimes, it jumps out at us, but usually it's more of a whisper than a shout. But if our minds are always busy, we find ourselves getting very distracted or very anxious very easily. It's not that the intuition isn't there, it's just that it's harder to experience it in our conscious awareness. I'm feeling a little sensation of those self-limiting beliefs, the doubt, maybe a bit of cynicism weighing more heavily on the mind. So I'm gonna go into the heart space. We're still working with the intention of focusing on the third eye. However, all of it is interconnected. Energy forms building blocks. And everything affects each other. Getting into the solar plexus. I'm feeling the lethargy, the lack of motivation, the lack of follow through on ideas and intuition that you're receiving here. I will say, I have this thing I've noticed in myself because I do tend to be an overthinker. But sometimes I'll get an idea or some sort of project or something like an art project or a herb mixture I want to make or something I want to write. But because I tend to get analysis paralysis, it'll just be in my brain, just going over and over and over again. And I'm one of those people where I get one idea and they all start coming, and I just like that one original major plan kind of goes on the back burner. I don't carry it through. And that's usually when I get 10 million more ideas and I just can't seem to function. Nothing goes right. I don't have the energy, the follow through in my solar plexus to do anything else until I get that one idea done. That thing that's like been in my brain that I can't let go of. Usually if I'm incapable of doing anything else in my daily life and I'm procrastinating everything, I have found recently, especially over the last year, that has meant that like, oh, I need to do that thing. The thing that has been in my head that I can't let go of. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to like be shown to anyone. I just need to physically put it out there in this like visceral form, or else nothing else will go smoothly and I will just lack motivation. I don't know. I just felt the need to share that. So if you've been lacking follow through or energy and there's just been one thing in your head that you can't seem to let go of, an idea, a vision, it could be big or small, it's a sign, maybe, to just do it. You don't have to show it to anyone else. It doesn't have to be perfect. But it was there for a reason. And it also helps build that trust with yourself and with your intuition. And with your creativity, if you believe in yourself and in your creative process enough to follow it through. Pardon? I'm so low energy today. I think it's because it's been really rainy and gray. But I'm tired today. Working with my favorite azurite with a piece of cat hair stuck to it. There we go. And this bit of malachite formed into it. Calling in and inviting in spiritual energy, the healing energy of my allies, and the healing energy of the azurite. I invite you into this space to help support anyone who chooses to receive this energy. Helping attune you and your senses a little bit more to the subtle energy, to the fields and the perceptions just beyond our normal awareness. And this is a matter that takes adjustment. We're going very slow, very gently. A gentle attunement. Letting go of any fear or self-doubt or lack of confidence that influences your inner vision, your sensory perceptions, your intuition. I've been here before. I've also counseled, helped work with a lot of people who have been very into the spiritual, but when they're first getting into it, you can see that dissonance almost of the desire for spiritual growth, for intuitive growth, with the kind of programming of fear that a lot of us have with the spiritual, with the different. And I've done this a lot in my early work of trying to unravel, oh, it's different, therefore it's scary. Doing spirit work, there's a lot of that sensation of, oh, spirits, spooky. And that starts clouding the judgment and the experience of what you're receiving, what you're seeing, what you're feeling. If everything starts becoming clouded by the, oh, it's scary. And I say this as someone with anxiety who used to watch way too many, like, not horror movies, but I would watched a few, like, true crime documentaries. I used to binge watch a lot of, like, Criminal Minds and stuff. So I would get a lot of anxiety, and I would start feeling scared of just life in general, because, you know, when you're anxious and you haven't slept well, this was like my teenage years usually when I was really exploring spirit work. And, you know, I would start feeling very threatened by, like, and thinking that, like, something was going to jump out at me when I was wandering around late at night in the dark in my house. And I would feel like the spirits that were in my house were lurking or something dark. And I kind of hit this mode of realizing just because I'm scared of it doesn't mean that it's truly scary or threatening. And I just started kind of doing more exposure therapy on myself of, like, laying on the floor just in the dark in the middle of the night and forcing myself to speak to the spirits in my house and just still do my cleansing, still do my protection, but not feel quite as like, oh, everything is out to get me. So I hope this makes sense, because when we're talking about our intuition and going beyond the regular physical world and more into the astral world or the spirit world, which we are always connected to, we just sometimes aren't as aware of it. Is being able to have discernment of when things are well-meaning, when things aren't as well-meaning, when things are neutral, which often they are, because that's life. And also not being so clouded by our own cultural biases of everything new is scary. I mean, don't push yourself past your comfort level, basically. If you are scared of everything, maybe that means don't jump right into the deep end of trying to do, like, heavy spirit work and contacting the dead or using Ouija boards. I also say that as someone who, you know, as I've mentioned, I have a lot of friends and, like, people who have come to me trying to get more into spirit work. But then all of their experiences, they were convinced that they were cursed and that, like, these scary things were always surrounding them, and now to get them. It's like, well, what are you doing? Like, how are you working with them? What exactly are you trying to develop here? And they just have a hard time as a person and just like feeling the energy around them. It's not to discount the experiences, just to say you're still holding space for yourself. You're still powerful. And I just don't think that like everything is out to get you all the time. Speaking generally here. I don't mean that as a criticism, I just mean that in a general. We have anxiety, working with new things can be scary. When we're working with the third eye, we don't want to go so out there past our comfort level into the intuitive realms that we can't ground and feel empowered in ourselves and our own practice. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm feeling this very loving, gentle energy coming from the azurite and malachite. There is something very protective about it as well. It encourages you to explore the depths without feeling like you're drowning in them. Just taking a moment to call in that energetic protection for your energy, as well as strengthening my intention to keep my own field safe, protected, separate, just as yours is. And if you feel like you might need extra sleep, or maybe extra time to rest over the next few days, possibly more alone time, I highly encourage it. Help support you rebuilding your own connection to yourself, to your intuition, to your spiritual and energetic awareness, and to your own discernment and your own inner power. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope this session was helpful in some way for you. If you want to keep up with all my videos, you can subscribe, hit the notification button. But either way, I appreciate all of your support, every kind comment, and I'm wishing you all the best. I'll see you next time.